My name is Yahia Salman,
And my name is Amaya McBride.
and we made NeuroNavigate, an app that's meant to help younger autistic children in the classroom.
There's a shortage of special education teachers, and one-on-one time with students is crucial, especially for learning skills like communication and emotional recognition. So our app helps them do that in a fun and challenging way.
Here's how it works. You see a demonstration of what happens from the front end. I just want to show you really quick what happens in the back end. So if we go here and we run our server, I'm just going to show really quick that we're running on Flask, and then the picture should come up, or the video should come up if we give it a second. Perfect, our Flask server started up, and then perfect. So we see here it's recognizing me as Yahya, and this is just to make sure so that when the user or the kid is using the app, that if they have like other kids around them, that when they're doing the parts of the app where they need to scan their face or they need to have a conversation, that it's not recognizing the people around them. So the app actually takes the person's picture as an input, so it only works for them at that time, and you can change the input for whatever. Now there's a couple of things. You can see words at the top where it shows my emotion at the time. So for example, if I get really happy, if I get really angry, right, it'll show. If I get sad, things like that. So that's really important for the emotional recognition for that part of the app that you saw. This was trained off of we used the VGG19 convolutional neural network that was trained off of the FER13 dataset. So the 2013 dataset that has a bunch of emotions, like over 10,000 images, I'm pretty sure. And so that's where we trained that. Lastly, you'll see that my eyes are being tracked actually. So if I look left, right, center, up, down, all of that's being tracked, and that's using Google's media pipe. And so we use this, we're able to put a bunch of different points. So you can see right here, to detect the different parts of like the corners of the eye, and then the irises in the middle to detect where we're actually looking. And the reason we're doing this is to make sure so that when the autistic kid is talking and they're going through their classes and they're like using our app, that we also check for if they're maintaining eye contact, because that's one of the most common struggles that people with autism suffer with. And so if we go through our app now, actually like the backend code, we'll see that we're using this part right here to transcribe the audio like you saw, called speech recognition. And so in speech recognition, it's actually built off of two models. One model called Caldi and another model called Vosk. So we just use these two models to record audio in Python. Second, we have this facial emotion model .h5. This is going to be our weights for when we give an input picture. It'll tell us like what the emotion is, and these weights were determined from the VGG19 model that I talked about earlier. And so what we do is we encode all the faces that are put in the assets folder here on the left. So those are like our users. I have my dad here also, Akram, that's my dad, because I was testing some stuff with like multiple users. Then here you could see we have these ratios, and these are determined if we're looking to the right, left, or in the middle, because we really want to be checking if we're looking to the middle to see if the user is making eye contact with the camera and the phone. Lastly, we have all these labels, and these are all the emotions that are in the FER13 data set. So we have angry, disgusted, fear, happy, neutral, sad, and surprised. We test for all of them you saw in the demonstration that I showed you a little bit earlier. And this is all just basic computer OpenCV stuff. This is just stuff to like put the stuff on the screen that you saw. This isn't actually any grunt work. And then lastly, we have all of our Flask APIs. We ran our RESTful API using Flask. We have all of our endpoints here. And then the most important thing is we're running two threads, because our Flask thread needs to be running, and at the same time the GPT thread, or the thread where we're recording audio, they both need to be running simultaneously at the same time. Same thing with the iris recognition. So we're running all three on actually different threads because they're all infinite processes, so it'd be impossible for them to all run at the same time. And that's how the backend works for our app. Thank you. Demo of our app. So there's 4 sections. The first section is a fun fact of the day. And so when you go in, these are auto-generated fun facts by OpenAI that are tailored towards younger autistic children. So we see here, elephants are the only animals that can't jump. If we go back in, your taste buds are replaced every 2 weeks. Most lipsticks contain fish scales. Then there's 3 other sections. The first section, well, that's actually the one mostly on the right, is one where people who struggle with their emotions can look at an emotion and practice replicating that emotion. And the phone will give you a response on whether you got the emotion correct or incorrect. So I have a couple emotions programmed in. We have neutral, and it's randomized every time. We have sadness. We can go sadness again. It's like randomizing each time. Surprised, anger again, surprise, joy, things like that. And I can show you how it works. So if we go here and we click start, it'll start counting down. We can smile. And it showed us that we did the correct one. Now, if I do it again, but this time I'll smile. It says anger, but I'll smile.
Try again.
So it tells us that we're wrong. So that's one of them for them to test their emotions. Our second one is going to be one where we can have them practice having a conversation. So a lot of times what people with autism will struggle with is that, especially younger children, is when they're asked a question, responding to that question. Giving an adequate answer and asking a question back, so they're further prompting conversation. So if we go into the first section of our app here, we have auto-generated questions again by OpenAI that are like tailored again towards children who struggle with autism and the types of questions that they'll struggle with. And here we have a step-by-step solution. So we're gonna have them answer in detail, and then we'll have them ask a question back. So first, I'm gonna answer, but I won't ask a question back, and we'll see what happens. So I'll answer, and I'll say, today I went to the store. So when I click stop, I get a prompt. It says, good work. That was a good response. You answered the question great. Just don't forget to ask a question too. Now I'm gonna dismiss, and now I have one that says, how are you? I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. How are you doing? Now when I click stop, it's gonna say great work. That was a great response. You answered the question and you asked a question back. So it's giving us feedback on how we're talking and how we're responding and things like that. So we can dismiss and we can go to our third section, which is a section where the last thing that like really young autistic children struggle with is that they're not always able to understand situations, so situational awareness. So if you go to these, we have, again, using prompt engineering, we generated questions and you're prompted with 2 choices on how you should feel in different situations. So for example, Amelia is petting a puppy gently. How should the puppy feel? The puppy should be comfortable. And again, you're prompted, good. Jake's pet ran away. How should we respond to Jake? Do we distract them or with comfort? Let's say we're wrong, we say distract them. They distract him and tell us to try it again. And we can think about it and then answer correctly. Lucas is quiet, he's not eating his food. What might he be? Not hungry or sad? He's probably sad. So click that. And again, that's our app. Lastly, we wanted to go over a few reasons why we picked some of the things we picked. So Amaya?
So as you saw, the app was super colorful and simple because we wanted to keep kids like entertained, stuff like that, while they're trying to learn new skills, keep their attention with all the bright colors and such. And then you also always heard the sound effect when they got a question right, because you want to make sure they're always getting continuous positive feedback when they're doing good things and they're learning new skills to keep their attention.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you enjoyed it.